The house was quiet in a way Emma had grown used to but never comfortable with. The clock ticked loudly on the wall, and the evening light faded through the kitchen window while dinner sat untouched on the table. Mark was late again. Emma didn't bother checking the time anymore. She already knew the pattern. Work always came first. She sighed, gathered the plates, and placed them in the sink, feeling the same dull heaviness in her chest that had followed her for months. Once, this house had been filled with laughter and late talks on the couch. Now it felt like a place where two people lived separate lives under one roof. Emma had never imagined loneliness inside marriage. When she and Mark first moved to Oregon, they dreamed of building something warm and full of life. Mark was loving then, always asking about her day, holding her hand while walking through town, making plans for the future. Over time, his job grew bigger, his hours longer, and his attention smaller. Conversations turned into quick exchanges. Hugs became rare. Emma tried to tell herself it was normal that all couples went through quiet seasons. But this season had lasted years. Every Thursday evening, Emma escaped to the community center. It was the one place where she felt useful and alive. She helped organize small events, arranged chairs, and greeted people who came for book clubs or meetings. It wasn't exciting work, but it gave her purpose. The soft noise of voices, the smell of coffee, and the gentle warmth of human connection made her forget the cold silence waiting at home. That was where she met Daniel. He was standing near a stack of books one evening, looking slightly lost. His sleeves were rolled up, and his hair was messy in a way that looked natural, not careless. When Emma approached and asked if he needed help, he smiled with a mix of relief and shyness. "I'm new here," he said. "I think I volunteered for the wrong table." Emma laughed lightly and guided him to the right spot. As they worked side by side, organizing supplies, they talked easily. Daniel had recently moved from Vancouver after a divorce. He said the city felt too full of memories and he needed somewhere quieter to breathe again. Emma listened closely, surprised by how honest he was with someone he had just met. "Fresh starts sound good in movies," Daniel said softly, stacking papers. "But in real life, they're scary." Emma nodded. Sometimes staying in the same place feels just as scary. Their eyes met for a moment and something passed between them. Not romance yet, just understanding. Over the next few weeks, they were often scheduled together. Daniel always greeted her with a warm smile, and Emma found herself looking forward to Thursdays more than any other day. They talked about favorite books, childhood memories, and small dreams they once had but slowly let go of. Daniel listened in a way that made Emma feel important. When she spoke, he didn't glance at his phone or rush her words. He focused fully on her. It felt good. Too good. At home, nothing changed. Mark came late, ate quickly, and disappeared. Into work emails, Emma tried to start conversations, but they ended quickly. "Long day," Mark would say. "Same here," Emma replied, and that was it. One evening, Emma suggested they go out for dinner like they used to. "Not tonight," Mark said without looking up. "Deadline tomorrow." She nodded, hiding her disappointment. The loneliness grew sharper each day. At the community center, Daniel noticed the sadness in her eyes. "You okay?" he asked gently one night as they folded chairs. Emma almost said yes, out of habit. Instead, she sighed. "Just tired of work. Of everything," she admitted. Daniel didn't push. He simply nodded, understanding more than she had said. A few days later, Emma remembered their wedding anniversary while shopping for groceries. Her heart lifted with hope. Maybe this would be a chance to reconnect. She cooked Mark's favorite meal, set candles on the table, and even wore the dress he once loved. She waited. The food cooled. The candles burned low. The clock passed 10. Mark never came. When he finally walked in near midnight, he looked surprised to see her sitting there. "Oh," he said, "was tonight something?" Emma couldn't speak. Tears filled her eyes as she stood up and walked past him into the bedroom. "I'm sorry," he called, but it sounded tired, not serious. Emma locked herself in the bathroom and cried silently. Her phone buzzed in her hand. Hey, just checking in. Hey, just checking in. Hope your day treated you kindly. The words felt like a hand reaching out in the dark. Emma stared at the screen, heart racing. No one had checked on her in years. She typed slowly, fingers shaking. It didn't. Almost instantly, 3 dots appeared. I'm sorry. Want to talk about it? Her chest tightened. She wanted to say no. She wanted to be strong. But the loneliness was too heavy. Maybe, she wrote. That night they texted for hours. Emma shared about the forgotten anniversary, about feeling invisible, about trying so hard to save something that felt broken. Daniel listened, sending gentle words of comfort, never blaming Mark, never crossing a line. You deserve to feel loved, he wrote. Those words stayed with her long after she put the phone down. From that moment, something inside Emma shifted. The silence in her marriage felt louder than ever, and the connection with Daniel felt warmer than anything she had known in years. She didn't call it attraction. She didn't call it danger. She called it comfort. But deep down, she knew comfort could slowly turn into something else. As Emma lay in bed beside Mark that night, staring at the ceiling, her phone resting on her chest, she realized she was smiling through her tears, and that scared her. Because for the first time in a long time, someone made her feel seen. And she had a feeling that this was only the beginning of a story she never meant to live. After that night, Emma and Daniel began talking every day. It started with simple messages in the morning and short check-ins at night, but soon their words became longer and deeper. Emma found herself waiting for her phone to light up her heart, lifting whenever his name appeared. Daniel asked about her day, about her thoughts, about things she loved as a child. No one had shown that kind of interest in her for years. It felt safe, warm, and slowly necessary. At the community center, their conversations grew more personal. They laughed easily, teasing each other about small mistakes while setting up chairs or sorting books. Daniel told stories about his childhood near the ocean in Canada, how he used to dream of becoming a writer. Emma shared how she once wanted to travel the world but settled into routine instead. With each story, they felt closer, like old friends who had known each other for a lifetime. Emma tried to keep emotional distance. She reminded herself that she was married, that Daniel was just a kind person who happened to understand her. But feelings don't follow rules. When Daniel smiled, her chest felt light. When he wasn't around, she missed him more than she wanted to admit. At home, the distance between Emma and Mark continued to grow. She attempted to talk again, hoping honesty would fix things. I feel lonely, she said one evening while they ate dinner. Mark sighed. You're always tired lately. Maybe you just need rest. It's not about rest, she replied softly. I miss us. We're fine, he said, already looking at his phone. The words hurt more than anger would have. That night, Emma texted Daniel without thinking. I tried to talk to him. He didn't hear me. Daniel responded almost right away. That must be painful. I'm really sorry. I don't want to feel like this anymore, she wrote. You shouldn't have to, he replied. Simple words made her eyes burn with tears. Days passed, and their bond grew stronger. They began meeting for coffee after volunteering. At first, it was in busy cafes where other people were around. They talked for hours about life, heartbreak, and hope. Daniel spoke about how his ex-wife had slowly pulled away before leaving him for someone else. It felt like I disappeared in my own marriage, he said quietly. Emma swallowed hard. That's exactly how I feel. The connection deepened. One evening, rain poured heavily outside as they finished closing the community center. Thunder echoed through the sky, and the parking lot was nearly empty. Daniel offered to walk Emma to her car. They moved slowly under the streetlights, rain falling around them like a soft curtain. Emma, Daniel said, stopping near her car. There's something I shouldn't say. Her heart raced. Then don't. "But I think you should know," he whispered. "Being with you makes me feel alive again." The air felt heavy between them. "I feel it too," Emma admitted. They stood close, breathing the same air, the rain soaking their clothes. For a moment, it felt like the world had disappeared. Then Emma stepped back quickly. "This is wrong," she said softly. Daniel nodded. "I know." But neither of them walked away easily. After that night, everything felt different. Their messages became more emotional, their looks lasting longer. They tried to keep things friendly, but the feelings were too strong. One afternoon, Emma received a message that made her hands shake. "I've been fighting this," Daniel wrote, "but I think I'm falling for you." Her heart pounded as she read it again. She stared at the screen for a long time, torn between guilt and honesty. Finally, she typed back, "I am too." Once the words were sent, there was no turning. Back from that moment, they weren't just friends trying to help each other heal. They were two people slowly slipping into something they knew was dangerous but couldn't stop. Emma started hiding her phone. She smiled more often. She felt lighter and heavier at the same time. At night, she lay beside Mark, feeling like a stranger in her own bed. Mark noticed the change. "You've been distant," he said one evening. "So have you?" She replied quietly. He didn't answer. Emma's heart was now split between the life she had built and the feelings she never planned to have. Daniel became the one she shared everything with: fears, dreams, sadness, hope. He told her she was strong, beautiful, and kind. He reminded her that her feelings mattered. No one had done that in years. Yet guilt followed her everywhere. She knew emotional closeness was already crossing a line. She knew she was betraying Mark even without physical actions. But every time she tried to pull away, Daniel would say something that touched her heart. "You make me believe in love. Again, you saved me when I was broken. You mattered to me." And she couldn't let go. One evening, sitting alone in her car after meeting Daniel for coffee, Emma finally admitted the truth to herself. This was no longer harmless. She was in love with another man. The realization scared her. She wasn't the kind of woman who cheated. She believed in loyalty, in commitment, in fighting for marriage. Yet here she was, hiding messages, lying about where she had been, and longing for someone who wasn't her husband. She wiped tears from her eyes and whispered, "How did this happen?" But deep down, she already knew. It happened slowly. It happened quietly. It happened because her heart had been starving for years, and now it was full in the wrong place. As Emma drove home that night, her phone buzzed again. Daniel's message read, "I don't know where this will go, but I know I don't want to lose you." Her hands tightened on the steering wheel because she knew a choice was coming. And no matter what she chose, someone's heart was going to break.